When Jesus sat down with his disciples in the upper room, he gave an instruction: "Do this in remembrance of me." People hear that and never question it, but today we're going to look at it very closely and compare it to what Yah already commanded us to remember and do. So let's begin in the New Testament, Luke 22, verses 19 through 20. And he took bread and gave thanks, and brake it, and gave unto them, saying, "This is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me." Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, "This cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you." 1 Corinthians 11, verses 24 through 25. And when he had given thanks, he brake it, and said, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me." After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, "This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as ye drink it in remembrance of me." Now, let's go to the Torah, or the Old Testament, to find out what Yah told us to remember and do. Exodus 12, verse 14. "And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yah throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever." Exodus 13, verse 3. "And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand Yah brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten." Exodus 20, verse 8. "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." Deuteronomy 5, verse 15. "And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt, and that Yah thy Elohim brought thee out thence through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore Yah thy Elohim commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day." Numbers 15, verse 39. "And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Yah, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring." Deuteronomy 4, verse 9. "Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest thy depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons." Deuteronomy 6, verse 12. "Then beware lest thou forget Yah, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage." Deuteronomy 8, verse 18. "But thou shalt remember Yah thy Elohim, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day." Deuteronomy 8, verse 2. "And thou shalt remember all the way which Yah thy Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldst keep his commandments or no." Deuteronomy 9, verse 7. "Remember and forget not how thou provokest Yah thy Elohim to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt, until ye came into this place, ye have been rebellious against Yah." Isaiah 46, verse 9. "Remember the former things of old, for I am El, and there is none else. I am Elohim, and there is none like me." So now let's look at the differences between what Jesus or Yeshua tells us to remember and do to what Yah tells us to remember and do. So in the New Testament, Jesus or Yeshua says, "Eat the bread, which is my body, drink the cup, which is my blood, do this in remembrance of me." And in the Torah, Yah says, remember my deliverance, remember my Sabbath, remember you were a servant, remember my commandments and do them. Remember what I showed you and taught you. Remember that I give you power. Remember how I led you and humbled you. Remember who Yah is. Remember how you rebelled. Remember me. So before you decide which list you will remember and do, let me remind you what Yah warns about in Deuteronomy 12, verse 32. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it.